It is that time of year where we separate the men and women from ordinary mediocrity to status of legend. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2021 No Enemies Here Grognard of the Year!
Hey! This is Steve Hackett here. You're watching No Enemies Here.
Seriously? Really? These sons of
Cast your votes in the comments below to send a mortal coil inhabitant to lasting eternity. They shall never grow old.
Was für ein Mistdreck ist das denn, Duce?
Yep, it's that time of year, where we separate the men and the women. Welcome to No Enemies Here, your go-to channel for news on war, but not really. Nobody gets hurt on this channel. I was trying to figure something out poetically, but it's not working. Hey, I drank the Kool-Aid, man. I got my Amazon t-shirt. Like Lotsa. They give a t-shirt every day. Trust me. Anyways, it's not bad at Amazon. But okay, let's get back to the real thing. Yep, it's that time of year where we, the people, we vote for Grognard of the Year. How to vote? In the comments below. I'll see your name, your posting, your avatar, whatever you want to call it, with the Grognard that you want to become Grognard of the Year. Whether it be a company, a person, a reviewer, a podcaster, Abraham Lincoln. If you want Abraham Lincoln to become Grognard of the Year, you can if he garners enough votes. 1 vote per person. I will make sure of that. Ozarkski. That's a hard man to beat, let me tell you. Sure, you may not have heard of Ozarkski, but this guy's a brain. He's a brain. He's an aggressive brain. He's gonna make you learn, whether you like it or not. Well, oh, and another caveat here. I'm not eligible for Grognard of the Year. Why? Obvious conflict of interest. Obvious, and I don't want to start no drama. So, any votes for me, which are greatly appreciated and you know, extremely heartfelt, but please understand that I'm not gonna vote myself, right? And unlike the CSRs, I had nothing to do with being nominated for the CSRs. And the CSRs, as a matter of fact, are getting a good shake-up we're mixing up stuff. Excuse me. When I say we're, the way I'm involved in the CSR is just basically, you know, shooting off my mouth, giving some ideas to Tim Tao, the president, and he can take the ideas, work with them, or not take the ideas. You know, I mean, it's a democracy, right? And the way I'm involved is basically putting them together, making the videos, something I enjoy extremely much. And that's it. That's all good. It's all good. All the comments we've gotten, every single positive and negative, trust me, every positive and negative comment has been taken into account. These are things I personally learned from. I love criticism, especially, and check this out, positive, negative criticism. If it's negative with a positive view, fantastic. I mean, I don't know, I probably said this before, but as a musician, once I became comfortable and secure with myself in terms vis-a-vis the instrument, vis-a-vis music, any criticism I listen to, and you know which ones to weed out, where you learned something, where you didn't think about that before, where it helps your phrasing, how to speak music, you know, because music, yeah, sure, you can learn it mechanically, but I mean, I'll tell you in 2 seconds, even less, if you're talking to me, or if you're just talking at me, musically, right? And, man, it would be great to speak to someone intellectually on music. I miss that, man, being in university and talking deep stuff about why that note should be sustained 1/8 of a second more or less in the third voice of a 7-voice fugue. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I hear it. As a matter of fact, yesterday, excuse me, I got something in my throat. I heard on our BBC, which is called CBC Radio, they were showcasing artists that recorded the same music twice. And Yo-Yo Ma, one of his first recordings of the Bach cello suites, and he played the first one, obviously. Not the shotgun, for God's sakes, with the prelude number 1, right, for cello. And wonderful, okay? And like, I'm not gonna criticize Yo-Yo Ma's playing, but I will, okay? I knew when he was playing it what I wanted to hear, okay? First of all, he played it immaculately. There is nothing anybody can say the way he speaks on the cello, right? Anyway, he was playing and I was saying, I think the bass notes are too staccato in their legato, because I know what he wants to say. And I feel it, you know? He's young there, man. And it's just, but that bass note, it was just give me more. 20 years later, he records it again. Lo and behold, everything I thought about, and he thought about more, everything I thought about and said, he did. The bass notes were less accented, longer sustained. It just, because we hear that, it's a reoccurring so ball. We know it's there, man, right? And he softened it up. Hey, man, I know how to talk. You know what I'm saying? My English might not be good, but my music is pretty good. I'm well versed. Anyways, enough about me. Don't forget to vote for Grognard of the Year. I'm gonna keep harassing you guys, girls, everything is up for grabs in terms of Grognard of the Year. As I said, companies, publishers, developers, personalities, except moi. Okay? Because of obvious conflict of interest. I'm being redundant! Okay, so, guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, animals, furry and not, please have a great weekend now. And who is it? Oh, Bobby Nunez. He says he watches it Friday nights. Hiya, Bobby. And talking about Bobby Nunez, he Zoom bombed us on everything you wanted to know about the war games but were afraid to ask with Artie on Artie's channel. And Harold Buchanan was there. I mean, man, you know, I thought he hits me, Harold. You know, but I go for it. I'm an idiot. I'm easy to get. I'm gullible. What do you want? Hey, have a great show.
Hello, this is Riccardo Masini, and this time's greatest day in history and games is December 2nd, 1805, the day when Napoleon Bonaparte made his greatest masterpiece, both on the tactical and strategic level, by ending one of the most incredible campaigns in military history with his triumph at Austerlitz. In 1804, through diplomatic and economic pressure, Great Britain had managed to create a new anti-French coalition together with Austria, Sweden and Russia, and the possible intervention of Prussia too. Now, all those allied forces were literally scattered at the four corners of Europe, while Napoleon's army was positioned just at the center of it, theoretically ready to engage them one at a time. The trouble was that the French army was mobilized, but on the wrong spot on the map. What would later be known as the Grande Armée was by then called the Armée d'Angleterre, the invasion force stationed at Boulogne, ready for the great project of landing in Great Britain and marching up to London. So, in typical fashion, Napoleon decided to strike first, changing his plans with amazing speed and efficiency. In total secrecy, he made a fast, forced march up from the English Channel to the center of Europe, a feat surpassing even Marlborough's great march to Blenheim of the previous century. The Grande Armée was divided in 7 independent corps, the 7 rivers, all marching at 1 day of march from each other, very easy to support logistically, advancing at lightning speed, tactical autonomous, but all ready to reassemble together in case of need. Their target, the Austrian Imperial Army, led by General Mack, still waiting for the arrival of the Russian forces commanded by General Kutuzov. So, with a succession of mobile engagements culminating in the encirclement at Ulm of October 20, Napoleon destroyed most of the Austrian forces and captured the unfortunate General Mack in serfs. Vienna fell shortly after, while the small remaining Austrian force withdrew east in modern Czechoslovakia, finally joining with the Russians. On his part, Kutuzov wanted to retreat back east to ambush Napoleon into foreign territory, but a Corsican general forced the Allies' hand once more. Feigning weakness, he advanced with a smaller portion of his army in front of his enemy, occupying the position of Austerlitz with apparently insufficient forces, but also keeping ample reserve forces nearby ready for a sudden battle. And the battle came, since the overconfident Austrians convinced Kutuzov to advance on Austerlitz with 85,000 men against 75,000 French deployed in an apparently disorganized formation. But when the Allied columns marched on the French right, descending from the Pratzen Heights, the trap sprang into action. In the south, Davout's 7,000-man corps had just arrived from Vienna and deployed on the flank. In the north, Murat's cavalry kept the Allied horsemen at bay. In the center, French artillery wreaked havoc on the Russian lines. All the Allies' first-line units found themselves surrounded, subjected to murderous crossfire, unable to react. Soon their advance stopped, and then turned into a general rout when the French counterattacked both the villages of Telnitz and Sokolnitz. Napoleon's final push broke the Allied army in two segments, ending the battle. Soon after, the Treaty of Pressburg ended the Third Coalition too. Great Britain was spared from invasion only thanks to the great naval victory at Trafalgar, but Napoleon's hegemony over Europe was now a fact. As we said, Austerlitz was a true masterpiece, a textbook example of tactical genius combined with a masterful strategic and operational maneuver, and so it is fitting to mention a classic war game to recreate this incredible campaign. Napoleon's Wheel by Kevin Zucker. Part of the venerable library of Napoleonic battles, essentially the reference point for Napoleonic wargaming, Napoleon's Wheel uses an evolution of the classic Napoleon's Last Battle system, depicting these events with easy-to-grasp mechanics supported by an incredibly deep research. CRTs, stacking rules, gorgeous X maps, accurate orders of battle, all those things that we love in traditional wargames are there, making for a satisfying and surprisingly manageable gaming experience. Interesting rules such as Fog of War, Cavalry Vedettes, March Orders, and even experimental optional rules such as special event cards also add other layers to what I read is once again a true classic. With its peculiar scale, several scenarios of different length and complexity, Napoleon's Wheel is a perfect way to fully appreciate Napoleon's general maneuvers in the campaign, a true wargaming gem. So, that's it for this time. See you on the next battlefield. Ciao!
Of ARDWULF'S LAIR has lots of videos, 2 unboxings, one being Objective Schmidt. This is an ASL game, also another ASL game, Corregidor of Iraq, and its counter-clipping episode, new editions, NWS News, yes, I forgot, my god, someone sent me news about I think it's Christopher Davies. My God, he passed. Oh well. Anyways, really sorry for that. My condolences to the whole family and friends. Continuing with Artie, Wargame Storage, system markers, also on everything you were always wanted to know about, everything you always wanted to know about war games but were afraid to ask. Yes, this is a special episode, one which many topics are covered. You know, everything but the kitchen sink. But think colonoscopy, yes, and unboxing the Dark Summer. A chit pull invades Normandy. This week on the operations room, the Gulf of Tonkin incident, 1964, the year I was born. This is an animated series of history. Please check it out. Lots of fun. Bring your popcorn. Timmy of Hairbrain Games. Every time I look at this channel, I feel like putting on Hair by I know Jerome Ragney was the lyricist and one of my acquaintances, believe it or not. So, like, you know, at the age of Aquarius and all that, yeah, he wrote the lyrics. So on Hairbrain Games, Weekend Games at, as I said, Hairbrain Games. And for our Italian listeners, Mauro Faina with Il Giannizzero Nero. He checks out Napoleon's Wheel, actually he finishes it off, starts Bitter Woods, and continues with Successors, the first part. The philosopher that is Hexes and Soldier, Jason Cruz. Bases loaded. I don't know what he's talking about. Also, wheels within wheels, the gears begin to turn. Yes, existential, philosophical speak. I think not. Also, turn 1 of experimental rule set of Battle of Fofield. Compass Games is live with episode 68 and also a live Town Hall expose, episode 34. BLASTPOP shows us Combat Commander Sea Lion, GMT's game. It's the second printing, a game designed by Chad Jensen on BLASTPOP. On Legendary Tactics, tear down this wall. That is a Twilight Struggle strategy, card by card. How do you play it? Also, Mystic Veil, how to beat the hard AI. And Twilight Struggle again, an evil empire. And the 1960, the making of President Strategy Guide, the final set. Also, Battle of the Loyalists, diplomacy board game. And continuing with how do you play card by card, strategically wise, obviously, of Twilight Struggle on Legendary Tactics. Brian Boru, High King of Ireland, component overview on Diagonal Move. On ASL Scenario Archive, Illuminating Rounds has episode 58, Gut Punch, part 2. Everything ASL. Nothing less, nothing more. The legendary designer Mark Herman has a video out on his game The Pacific War on the scenario of December 7th, a day that will live in infamy.
Hey everybody, for those who don't know me, my name is Wayne Hansen, and I run a solitaire wargaming YouTube channel. Dan asked me to provide a video for his show, and I figured, why not? So I'll just talk a little bit about my channel and what I've been doing on it recently, and hopefully you'll see me here in the future as well. In the last couple weeks, the last game that I covered was In the Name of Justice, The Battle of Lewis, 1264, designed by Dale Gutt, published by White Dog Games. This is a 2-player game, however, it is chip pull, so it's very solitaire friendly. I love covering chip pull games on my channel. I feel like they usually play pretty well solitaire, this one included. It is, so with my videos, if you guys aren't aware, I usually cover a game. I'll have like a series of videos. I'll do a recon, which is my version of an unboxing. Then I will do a tutorial playthrough, possibly paired with another playthrough without a tutorial. Just depends on the game, if I feel it needs it or not. And then I'll wrap it up usually with an overview and a review. So with In the Name of Justice, I consider it a good, not great game, but a good one. It's, you know, covers things pretty well. It plays very quickly, easy to learn. You know, it does have its flaws, but I definitely think that if you like chip pull, if you like the theme, if you like that era, definitely want to at least check it out. This week, I've been covering Absolute War, the Russian Front, 1941 to 45. This is from Carl Paratus and published by GMT Games. This is a pretty big time release. I believe it came out maybe a month ago, so still pretty new. I've done my recon already. I just uploaded my tutorial playthrough, and I will have my overview and review coming, I believe, the beginning of next week. Now, if you're a big fan of Carl Paratus and his games, you may not want to watch my review, or you may want to watch it because you may want to reply to me and let me know what you think, but let's just say it's not a glowing review. And then a little bit of a sneak peek, although you can kind of see the game over here on my table. I'm not going to say the name of it, but after Absolute War, I will be covering one of Michael Renella's Area Impulse style games. I've covered at least one of his games before on my channel, so published by Revolution Games, by the way. I want to make sure to mention that. Anyway, you can look forward to that. Look forward to my review coming from Absolute War, and then the next game I'll be covering on my channel. So I think that about wraps it up. If you want to find my channel, you can find a link below in the video description, or just go over to YouTube and search Wayne Hansen, maybe Wayne Hansen Wargaming. My channel will pop up. So until next time, guys, later.
The man famously known as Calandale, Enrico Viglino, continues 2 minutes to midnight. Episodes 3 to 7. I should say to 8. Enrico Viglino. My favorite expat Frenchie, Freddy Serval, is interviewing, I should say, the designer of Cross Bronx Expressway. Little Wars TV is reviewing Battlefront NAM. This is a rule review and week number 2 in the holiday scenario giveaways. On Big Board Gaming, we have Deadly Woods First Take, also Line of Battle WoW, and Deadly Woods Intro and his goofs. I'm afraid of this lady, Liz Davidson. Dr. Davidson teaches Time of Crisis, the base game, and Dr. Davidson teaches The Age of Iron and Rust. And this is a Time of Crisis expansion, and he interviews the most handsome designer in the world today. The top 5 Valiant defense settings with David Thompson. HEXES unboxes North Africa and Gettysburg. Faithful Lightning episode number 2. Yep, look at this guy. He must have been, what, 19? Yeah, actually he was 19. André Rocher. When he escaped occupied France to join the French Free Forces in North Africa. This guy's got more cojones than I can ever imagine. I wouldn't want to mess with this guy. Not even today. On Remember World War II. World War II French paratrooper shares crazy true story, and it is not in French. It is in the language of English. The artist and designer, that is Matt White. Achigen, After Action Report from 3 Days of Glory, 1805. I hope I pronounced that well. Austerlitz After Action Report from 3 Days of Glory, 1805. And he reviews 3 Days of Glory, 1805. And has another video, another action, After Action Report. Aspirin Essling, 1809, the 21st of May, historical scenario. Combat Board Games gives us the review of Bismarck Solitaire, and he says a surprising game book produced by Worthington Publishing. Mo of Mo's Game Table previews NATO 1961, the Berlin Crisis, also Red Storm, Dark Blue Defection, NATO solo scenarios, and On Paper Wars number 99, Assault on Tobruk, and from Compass Games, Kharkov Battles, Before and After Faulblau. The Grognard of 2020, Jim Ozarkski, who will be passing on the baton to a new Grognard 2021. Shall it be him again? I don't know. Only you know. On his channel, the Battle of Austerlitz for Blücher and the Battle of Altdorf for Schakos 2. 303 Squadron Playthrough, the training on World War II Solitaire Board Game Channel. On the Board Game Chronicles this week, yet once again introducing Paths of Glory. I heard this is a medium difficulty game. I was told by my consigliere and my co-host, ARDWULF'S LAIR, and 2 videos on Atlantic Chase, Advanced Battles, Mini Scenario number 9 and 10. Sink the Bismarck, parts 1 and 2. Look who's back in the house! Dad versus son, but son of another mother. Aaron plays turn 2 of La Bataille de Hanau, October 30th to 31st, 1813. The totally adorable Rough Swordsman's Wargamer. You know what? This guy's he's a seasoned musician. Seasoned! Bit of salt, a bit of pepper makes you seasoned. On his channel this week, Mrs. Thatcher's War from White Dog Games. This is turns 10 and 12. I should say 10 to 12. On Open the Box, an unboxing of, this is not a War Game Wednesday, Elder Sign, and another unboxing of Panzer Expansion number 1 from GMT, because it's being shipped right now from GMT.
Hello everyone, this is Michel Leviathan Sorbet from the Polish YouTube channel Wojennik TV. Here is, as always, the roundup of the content published on Wojennik TV during the last 7 days. Last Sunday I released yet another top 3 video in which I have spoken about my top 3 games of the previous month, so of November 2021. On this list I included Undaunted North Africa from Osprey Games, which will be very soon released also in a Polish version by Ogre Games. Secondly, I have spoken about Brass Lancashire, and finally my top game of the month was Oath Chronicles of Empire and Exile from Leather Games. So those were the top 3 titles which I have played the most in November. On Tuesday, the video in English, which was this time an unboxing. This was the unboxing of 1759, the Siege of Quebec. The Siege of Quebec was, without any doubt, the turning point of the French and Indian Wars, and it was the moment when the tide of war decisively turned upon the English. So during this battle, both commanders, both Wolfe and Montcalm, died, but the battle resulted in a British victory, and with the fall of Quebec, the entire French Empire in Northern America fell into British hands. So this game enables us to recreate this epic battle, both from a 2-player perspective as well as in a solo mode from the French and English perspective. On Wednesday, a review, an unboxing, the Polish unboxing, and this time it was not an unboxing of a new game. I presented the components of an old edition of Brass Lancashire, but in the German version released by Pegasus Spiele under the name CARROLL. So this is quite an old edition, which is more than 10 years old right now, but I still have it. I haven't acquired the new one because I'm fond of the old one, and I intend to keep it in my collection. So I decided to present it. It's a small travel to the past in order to show to all of you who know the game only under the new version, really refurbished and really excellent from Osprey Games. Now it's an opportunity for you to take a look how this game looked a long time ago. Finally, on Friday, the Polish review, and this was the review of yet another title of Osprey Games, The King is Dead. Now, I decided to review this game because it will also be released in a few moments in a Polish version by Ogre Games. The game is focused about a struggle for the English throne when the king dies without any heir. We have three factions. We have the Scots, the Welsh and the English, and we will be trying to acquire the support in order to become the new king. But the game can also end with a French invasion, and upon such an invasion, it's not the player who has the support of the dominant faction who wins. It's the player who has the most support among each faction. So this is an interesting game, using only 8 cards during each play, but very entertaining. And I will release this review on Friday. So those were the 4 videos which I released on Wojennik TV during the last 7 days. I wish you an excellent weekend, have a great gaming, see you next time.
And for our Italian listeners, the malevolent Riccardo Mazzini, Scipio News number 8. This is content on Italian war games. That's right. 6 Actual gives us the original Twilight 2000. Why? Because there's a 4th edition right now, I should say. Check it out. The great STUKAJOE has 2 videos out on the same game. Mind Dog Leader, Experimental, number 1, and Poodle Pet Expansion, Experimental, number 2. Poodle Expansion, eh, Joe? Okay. Tim Korchnoi of Bare Bones Wargaming has Bare Bones Wargaming Battle of Luthen, and another video, Bare Bones Wargaming Tarawa 1943. Me being ADD, best channels are animated. Why? Because. So on Simple History, Life as a POW in Hanoi Hilton. Also, POW Blink's secret message on TV, I remember seeing that. And how effective are tank silencers. I never even knew there was silencers. The weird history of toilet deaths. Yes. And how tank silencers were upgraded. Like I said, I can't believe there were silencers. And why were the SAS Land Rovers painted pink? Boo. You know, I got lots of interests in life. Movies is one of them. And one of the best guys to check out the type of movies I like B movies and, you know, whatever, C and D movies, is Terry Talks Movies. The Toho Tokusatsu double feature. So Toho was a Japanese film company, and Terry talks about his worst movies of 2021, which are probably not mine. Ben Harsh of Harsh Rules, Learning to Play with Easy Rules, Part 6, Anti-Tank Fire from the Last 100 Yards. This is a game designed by Mike Denson. Also, I interviewed him on In Conversation. You could check that out by perusing my website, not website, I should say the YouTube site. And published by GMT. Wars of the World shows us the US pilots with an American kill marking, the horror, the humanity, the monsters, the animal, the gentlemen of the Farmer's Aid are reviewing 20th Air Force from Fortress Games, also reviewing French and Indian War from Worthington Publishing. The lights, the voice on Seek Out and Play, how to play Napoleon's Return 1815. This is the turn sequence, a game published by Worthington Publishing. GIMPY of the GIMPY Gamer tells us his battle systems, thatched cottage assembly, shows us, and lake houses on the GIMPY Gamer. On Dave's Gaming Cave, he checks out Mike Bertuccelli's Tank Duel North Africa Scenarios 2 Killer Heat Part 1 and 2. Lots of videos this week on Kings and Generals, War of the Last Alliance, Lord of the Rings, and First Crusade Battle of Manzikert 1071. It's a long time ago, ladies and gentlemen. Also the attack on Pearl Harbor, Pacific War #1, and Ancient Tactics, Oblique Orders on Kings and Generals, Japanese Invasions of Malaya, Pacific War #2. The Minister, that is Joel Toppin, Cataclysm. #3, The War Escalates. And #4, Political Actions. This is a game published by GMT. And on Andrews, The Tabletop's Edge, The Last Blitzkrieg. I'm stumbling on my words. This is a Battalion Combat Series campaign playthrough, the 19th of December, 44, Part 1. New Day, New Problems, a game published by Multi-Man Publishing. Did you ever want to know about World War II dictator planes, or the Fegelein wedding, Nazi fairy tale, or Nazi nightmare? All this on Mark Felton Productions. ID Jester, come back to us. What he is doing right now is Project for Cars 2, right? I don't know what this is about. It's about cars. ID, come back. Bonding with board games. World War II, I should say, with Indy Nidell has a slew of videos. One being the Axis armies facing starvation in World War II, probably talking about Stalingrad and Kokoda, I should say, the Kokoda Trail. Day-by-day recap. Check it out. It ain't gonna be pretty. Also, the Imperial Japan Army, a spy comedy. And Reserve Meat Grinder day-by-day recap. And how World War II created a welfare state. Well, that's not all they created. But check this channel out. World War II, day by day. The Chief and Bonding with Board Games. Yes, that's Ron there, and the Sweet Duke. That's what I'm called on the 4th edition of, that is an RPG of Twilight 2000. So this is the 3rd episode. I am a sniper, and Ron Dratus is my intelligence officer and everything else. Basically, he's the brains behind the good looks that I am. I'm a sniper. That's my ghillie suit, the best I can find right now. It was on sale. And I'm an Italian Bersaglieri from the 8th unit, Caserta. Check it out on Bonding with Board Games. Marco Omnigamer reviews DVGs, Zero Leader. The World War II Pacific Theater Solitaire War Game. Another week, another show. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you'd like to donate to this channel, we have a Patreon. I have a Patreon site. And I'd like to welcome my new supporter, Andrew Frankie. Thanks, Andrew. I just got back from a shift from Amazon. God, I'm tired. But anyways, look, tomorrow I'm making wine. I was supposed to do Harold Buchanan's morning breakfast show. Check it out, he's on tomorrow. And there's a slew of people are gonna be there. I wanted to be there, but I'm making wine. I gotta transfer my wine from the huge demijohns into bottles, you know. And I gotta drive like an hour and a half to get there, and another hour and a half to get back. Anyways, have a good weekend. Stay clean. Be positive. It's the same thing as being negative, but you're positive. There's something you're gonna get out of it. Don't be negative. All right. Have a good weekend.